Looking back on my own previous posts on Hallucinor's social feeds, I keep coming back to these questions. When did being this vain become so normal? Have we always been this self-absorbed? And can we change? I was a relatively late and reluctant adopter of social media. MySpace was a thing when I was at uni and I just thought it was kind of lame. Not because I thought I was too cool, I just genuinely didn't see the appeal. I remember friends in scriptwriting labs with MySpace open and just not understanding how in the hell it was all so interesting. And these were some of the most genuine, cool and funny people I've ever met. Fast forward 15 years and social media is entrenched in our daily lives. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I still don't know what the hell TikTok is, but for businesses including freelancers and video production companies, a social media brand presence has become a must-have. Now, I'm not here to say social media is bad, because it is, or at least can be, useful, informative, and/or entertaining, and allows us to bypass other communication channels owned by corporate interests. It's also become the way to connect with mates and family overseas, although I find I do that better through private messages anyway. I'm not sharing this video to say social media has made us worse people, but perhaps the prevalence of certain kinds of posts on social media is highlighting tendencies that we've always had underneath the surface. With everything going on in the world at the moment, I can't help but feel a little ashamed and embarrassed of my absolutely shameless attention-seeking social media posts I've made with my business. To be clear, I'm not talking about private, personal social media accounts for friends and family. Not talking about those. There are aspects of social media, although I've engaged with it a lot, primarily through work, that have never quite sat well with me. And I'm not talking about advertising, tracking, and privacy invasion. I find it hard to square the values that I was brought up to hold most highly with the general attention-seeking nature of social media. The simple term, don't be a show-off, or as my dad may have said, stop being a dickhead. Looking back on my own previous posts on Hallucinor's social feeds, I keep coming back to these questions. When did being this vain become so normal? Have we always been this self-absorbed? And can we change? We're quite good generally at compartmentalizing our lives and behaviors. There's things we'd say in privacy with our friends that we wouldn't say to our parents, ways we'd act at home that we never would at work. But if I were to transplant the way I've posted on our business's social media feeds with real-world behavior, you would quite rightly and objectively think I'm a dick. Just finished a 1-week shoot on the ARRI Alexa. Had an 18-hour day today. It's hardcore. This is my Zeiss 35 F2, but I've got the 35 1.4 on the way and it's a freaking beast. Hey, check out my Sakudo Gratical Eye EVF. It's really expensive and it's awesome and it's really great. Forever hunting that perfect shot. The Sigma 50-100 is an amazing lens, f1.8, but it breathes like a freaking dragon. If I look back at our most liked posts on social media, it's not examples of our work. It's shots of us with camera gear with the most possible hashtags. Being seen with the tools has more prominence than what they're being used to create. Maybe it's just our social feeds, but film and video related content seems to be overpopulated by contrived video and stills of people looking cool with their gear. And don't pretend you don't know what I'm talking about. Now, the post might be pretending to be informative with a comment like, "The Zeiss 35mm 1.4 is amazing, hashtag bokeh, hashtag shallow DOF, hashtag Zeiss, hashtag wide open." But if I'm honest with myself, it's just a cover for me to post an attention-grabbing image or video of myself. And maybe that's fine. It's not hurting anyone. And I'm well aware that there's much bigger problems in the world. But after reflecting on this a lot, I don't think I'm comfortable uploading posts anymore if when I strip back the bullshit, all I'm really asking you to do is look at me, look at me, look at me. Like a kid on the playground, "Look what I'm doing, daddy," which is adorable, but I'm an adult. And you could rightly argue,
"But every single Scottish person does it!"
And other areas of the internet are far worse. Fashion or fitness at times, for example, can be vanity havens. But surely all of us in our film and video production culture cluster of the internet have a collective say in the level of narcissism or self-absorption we consider too self-centered and lame. Weren't filmmakers and craft people traditionally the people quietly getting on with our jobs, occasionally chuckling to ourselves at actors or models worried about us shooting their best side? Now with the ability to showcase ourselves, I can see that I've proven to be no less vain or attention-seeking than anyone else. I've posted pictures of my packed bags multiple times because I'm at the airport for a shoot. Why? Who is that for? Is it for me to just show off the fact that I'm off on a shoot to feel special because I'm being paid to travel internationally or interstate for work? It serves no useful purpose to anyone from either an entertainment or educational perspective. It's just me saying, "Look what I'm doing." I can't pin this down. There's no line. No one can say this is too much, but that isn't, with any degree of subjectivity. Surely it's also about the number or ratio of vanity posts too. But to my fellow Australian filmmakers and content creators, I say this:
it's just the vibe of the thing.
To everybody else,
"Yes, but use your feelings, Anakin. Something is out of place."
Like the great Dr. Arroway once said, "I believe the world is what we make it." And that's the same for online communities and subcultures. What do you think? Is the ratio of pointless self-serving but cool-looking shots of us posing out of whack with the amount of genuine content? Would the internet be better for having less posts and more substance? I've been talking about this with Shane, my business partner, who's even less inclined to engage in social media posting, both personally and professionally, than myself. We discussed how do we ensure that from now on our posts online aren't just to prop ourselves up, maintain our brand presence, or make ourselves feel cool, relevant, not left behind, to be seen to have found success in what we do, but that they actually serve a purpose and provide value to our audience, however small that audience is. Going forward, we feel that any social posts from us have to be to inform and/or entertain. They have to be for something or someone, not just cause, "Look at me, look at me."
Now look at me, please. Look at me, look at me, look at me.
I'm just trying to figure out how to run and promote our business without feeling in conflict with my own feelings of what's right and what just generally doesn't sit well with me in my heart. And that's different for different people. And yeah, of course it is. If you don't feel the same way, I don't for a second think you're wrong. I'm just trying to be true to myself, and I need to acknowledge that I haven't been. I'm trying to communicate something that I fear I'm not articulating very well, and I wonder if anyone else has been thinking along these lines. Have you? I feel like the easy and valid rebuttal to all I'm saying is the old, "We're sharing our journey with our audience." And I think that's valid. Some people are just genuinely interested in what you're up to, and they want to and do support you. So maybe it depends on where that desire to post comes from and frequency. And obviously, to be worthy of a large audience that cares about us, we need to show images of ourselves looking the part, or else how would anyone know how worthy of their attention we are? Obviously, that was me being sarcastic. I don't know, I feel like we can continue to share our journeys, our lessons, our trials, our failures, and our successes with a lot less posing and blatantly self-indulgent posts in the future. There's enough narcissism in the world. I don't want to continue to contribute to its universal normalization. Now, to be clear, I'm not advocating that other filmmakers and video producers should stop posting behind the scenes images or gear porn because they're cool. They're often or can be informative and entertaining, especially when the people being photographed don't know it. I used to love watching the behind the scenes features on DVDs as a teenager. It was a great look behind the curtain and helped me to understand how they arrived at the images I was watching in the movie. I'm just trying to articulate my feelings that maybe I've gone too far over the line into shameless poser territory, and what would have once been called out for being so now feels normal, even celebrated. That kind of scares me and makes me a bit sad. Am I crazy? How do you feel about this? Please share in the comments below. This is an incredibly subjective and flawed video. I'm just trying to wrap my head around my own feelings on this and figure out a social media code that I can live by in line with my own personal values. It's just my thoughts. And my thoughts on this are not in concrete. If posting in the way I've outlined that I don't want to truly makes your heart sing or brings revenue to your business, awesome, good for you. It's been estimated that human beings as we are today have been around for 200,000 years. Social media, not so long. Maybe we need to reflect and think long and hard about how we use it and the effect that it has on who we are or who we change into. I just feel like we can do better. I think I can. I think we can be better. What do you think?